Welcome back, everybody. Episode 232 Behind the ToolBelt. Today we have another special guest. Stay tuned and we will be back after our short intro from our sponsors.
GC Backer. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. GC Backer.
Is your lead flow down? Whether you're a company owner, office staff, salesperson, or installer, you're a roofing rock star. We help you get more leads with custom SEO, Google Ads, and a pro website.
GC Backer.
Solar.
And we are back. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hopefully you're on your lunch break and can tune in real quick before you got to get back to the grind. I'm with my great friend, Chris Scoville. How you doing, brother?
It was great. I was just singing the roofing, sidings, windows, gutters, solar.
That's right.
It's got such a Tim will like this. It's just such a good hook.
It does have a good hook, and it's very addictive, and it'll stick in your mind, and it's very annoying at times, but that was the point. That was our goal.
Isn't it crazy? Like advertising and marketing, the more kind of it is, like you're like, oh my gosh. And as an owner, you're probably like, dude, I can't stand this. But meanwhile, people are driving around hearing your ad going, roofing, sidings, windows, siding, gold. Like, they're like, what? It's like we want our cash and we want it now. J.G. Wentworth, right? Like annoying, but that's stuck in our head.
Absolutely. The progressive commercial not State Farm, but Farmers Insurance commercial, all of them. I remember back when I was a kid on the school bus, it was the Roto-Rooter. Yeah. Roto-Rooter. That's his name, lives right down your toilet drain or some shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody, like, it's amazing when you think about some of the quirkiness.
Yeah.
But, look, I always say, people do business with people that they know, like, trust, but more importantly, remember. So if you're not memorable, they don't even know if they'll like you, know you, or trust you because they won't remember you. So with whatever you're doing out there in your organic marketing, folks, be memorable with what you're doing.
Absolutely. Because of that jingle, I had an interview with an individual down in our Greenville location, I don't know, about a year ago.
Yeah.
We had opened up probably about 14, 16 months ago down there, and we were doing an interview with her. And, I was throughout the conversation, I was telling her, we just recently moved into the area, and So I kept speaking, and then she was like, "Wait a minute, go back a little bit. Like, you guys just opened up in the area?" I was like, "Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, we just opened up. We're from Pennsylvania." She's like, "Really?" She's like I see you guys everywhere, like on Facebook. Your jingle, it drives me crazy. She's like, "That's why I filled out the application." So the brand, I mean, it's giving me goosebumps right now because I could have went with it and was like, "Yeah, we've been here for a decade," but I didn't. But I found it so interesting on, with social media, so social commerce and the reach that it has. It's just amazing. And then because of the jingle, and not necessarily our logos and stuff like that, but I think a lot of it has to do with consistency and not making it confusing. And what I mean by that is it's like all of our trucks, our website, our billboards, our jingle, our everything is exactly the same every single time. And don't get me wrong, every now and then we'll throw a little pattern interrupt in there just to kind of jazz things up, especially on billboards and stuff like that. But I really think a lot of people try to like reinvent the wheel each time they do a marketing campaign or, lettering their trucks or yard signs. But I mean, everything should look identical because you're searching for those touch points. You're not searching for them, but those that are searching for you, you want them, like you said, you want them to remember you. So you got to just keep driving home and stay consistent with your brand.
Pepsi, Coke, Nike, Adidas. I mean, come on.
Right.
They haven't changed much about the swoop.
No.
Coca-Cola's script. I don't think they've ever changed that. They tried to change the flavor a couple times, which didn't work out well.
Right. Yeah,
hey, we were like maybe a month and a half ago. Life's been happening very quickly. Maybe it was 2 months now. We were up in the Carolinas. Y'all have a location in North or South Carolina as well?
South Carolina, Greenville.
Yeah, we're driving down the road, and I don't know if I saw a truck or if I saw a building from the main road.
Yeah.
But I looked up and I was like, wait a minute. Aren't these guys up north, like in Pennsylvania?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of course, Tiffany's in the industry now. So I got her. Hey, that TC back?
Yeah, cool. It worked. I mean, because you saw it, identified it right away because you see it so much unconsciously. You see it now.
Yeah, I saw Hunter's trucks.
Yeah.
I saw 3-guy roofing or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Guy roofing. Yeah.
Guy, GUY. Like I saw, dude, I just was like, boom. And roofing is everywhere. It's insane. This industry's insane.
It is. I love it. I'm glad it found me.
I'm glad it found you too.
Yeah. And I loved it. And we were having a meeting, I think it was yesterday morning, and I was on one of my rants and I was rolling on and I was like, you know what? If you guys want vision and you want clarity, it's like, I think, because we feel like there's a deficiency in the roofing industry of whether it's character or integrity or whatever it is. And it was like, okay, this is the vision. We think America deserves, at least in the lower 48, at least one TC backer per state because there's a deficiency there, right? Like, so our goal, it might be a big, hairy, audacious goal, right? Our BHAG is that we want at least one location per state in the lower 48. And why not? Why not? Why not have us all over the country and providing good, safe, quality, healthy, and I say healthy because a roof can lead to, a lot of health issues, whether it's a leak, mold, all those things, gutters, water in the basement, things like that. So we want to provide a healthy, and how do we do that better than marketing ourselves, branding ourselves, and being as trustworthy? People know us.
Yeah.
Right. All those things that you mentioned earlier.
Do you see that as and I don't know, I'm really glad you brought that up because it's interesting because I've always got thoughts on this as well. Do you see that as a franchise model or is it a home base? You open it up and have foremen or project managers running those locations. How would you see that big audacious goal?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that because there's two ways. We would do it in a roll up / combination between a roll up and a franchise.
Okay.
Okay. That's the quickest, easiest way to do it, right? With less pain, less finances, it's an easier vehicle to get there.
So well, let me understand. So for the listeners, a roll up means that you're going to find an additional, an existing business that's got, that matches your core and your philosophy. And you would perhaps roll them up into and then rebrand and then, okay.
Yeah, exactly. And, or we find the right who in a location, which we've done down in South Carolina. We've been very fortunate to find 2 who. So we have 2 locations down there, one in Greenville and one in Bluffton, South Carolina.
Fantastic. Okay, good.
So we found the who there. We went down, we opened up shop, found a brick and mortar, got some trucks, got some billboards, got some yard signs, the Facebook ads, the whole thing. And of course that takes a lot more capital to do those things, but between new construction, storm, retail, things like that, we have a couple feathers in our cap and several streams of revenue coming in. We don't just rely on storm. SOP. Yes. Yes. Right.
You've got your systems and processes to make it cookie cutter.
Yeah.
As long as you follow step 1, step 2, step 3, and you stay within our core cultural beliefs on what our deliverable is, you'll be successful because it's already tried and true.
Listen, this is such a great topic because where it starts, and it's giving me goosebumps because this is one of my favorite topics, is where it starts is with core values. We also reviewed with a small group here. We recently restructured or rewrote our core values. I wish I had them here so I could pull them up because we used to have just 4 words on the wall: trust, integrity, loyalty, those words like that. And it's kind of like the more I started to do research on, cultures, core values, mission statements, and things like that, it's like you can't just have someone, read honesty on the wall and it's like, be honest. They're like, well, I thought I was. Like, what are you being honest about?
Tell them what honesty is, because we all have a different belief on what honesty is.
Right, exactly. So we have restructured and rewrote our mission statement, our core values. But where this all starts, okay, is your core values, standards and operating procedures, and KPIs. You can't have one without the other because they work harmoniously, simultaneously, cohesively together.
They hold each other accountable.
Yes.
The SOPs and the KPIs hold each other accountable.
Right. And within our decision making throughout the course of the day, and it doesn't matter which individual needs to make a decision, as long as you stay within the guidelines of the core values, we're going to limit our exposure or our deficiencies or making mistakes as long as we follow our core values.
Yep.
On a daily basis. So our decision making has been made super simple. Just stay within the core values, right? You can't really fail. And if you do, it'll be a learning or coaching moment, right? If we do it. And like I said yesterday in the meeting, was like, this isn't done yet. Like, this is going to be like a living thing, whether it's our SOPs, our KPIs, and our core values. Our mission statement 6 months, 6 years from now may change ever so slightly into the atmosphere or the environment that we're in now, whether it be due to economic changes, whether it be to different products, whether it be to buyers' behaviors, or just where we're at in the season of our lives in the company. And same with the core values. They may change as well too, because I think I was getting so hemmed up. It took me literally almost 4 years to rewrite these. We kept living by just the words on the wall, and we'd have meetings and we'd preach about what they are, but we didn't really have them like written and scripted out. Right. But it is really taken a long time. It's about community, it's about family, it's about faith, it's about all these things that we all stand for, not just professionally, but also personally, because that's where it starts. We're about personal development. It starts at home, starts by, reading, working out, eating healthy, getting plenty of rest, how you treat your wife, how you treat your kids, how you're raising your family. You bring that to work, right? So if you have an upside down home life, right? There's no usually work problems. It's usually a people problem, that they bring to work. So we're really big and on personal development, because for me, that's where it's always started with me. It was, how am I taking care of myself? What am I doing? It might sound selfish, but if I'm not eating, how can I feed? How can I feed others? So I have to eat.
So these roll-ups have to fit into this foundational core value belief.
100%.
It's almost like Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
because we all know the difference from going to a Chick-fil-A. Look, whether you eat the food or not, doesn't matter. But let's all agree that there's a big difference from going to a Chick-fil-A than there is going to a Burger King or a McDonald's nowadays.
Absolutely.
I know that more than likely someone's going to be kind to me, offer me better, maybe good customer service to an extreme. And if I'm sitting down in a Chick-fil-A, the manager might walk by and say, how is everything? Is there anything I can get you? Would you like a refill?
Mm-hmm.
A lot different than when you go to another fast food or a restaurant. Big difference. So I understand that. The SOPs, the KPIs, the core values, when you do go out into these other locations, it's important for that owner to agree to that if they're going to stay on in any capacity.
Absolutely.
And I love it.
Yeah, they have to be vetted to a certain extent. They have to have the same moral values as we do. They need to all but be cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, of course.
You know, that and have the same beliefs, you know, the same cultural values that we have. And then we go outside of those things. And what's cool about this is it's like, so the products that we use, our tech stack that we use, you know, we have in-house people that train. We do most of our marketing all in-house. Our director of technology was a gentleman, like I think one of the first three developers of our CRM, who now works for us full time. So anything that we need done, or instead of having the CRM, us building around the CRM, the CRM's actually building around us as we grow, and has helped us with our SOPs, has helped us with our KPIs, developing our KPIs. And all these, so then we can duplicate that. So the where it was is we needed something that was easily duplicatable, that's in layman's terms, that isn't, you know, 100-page script. It's like, what happens when you do this and what do you do that? And it's like, no, it's pretty simple. We have a CRM, we have KPIs, we have SOPs, and we have our core values. And other than that, I mean, all the products that we used are the same. GAF shingles were Master Elite. We work towards them. And that's the other thing too. Only 2% of us in the country can become Master Elite. And it's usually comes down to ethics, right? Before you can even, like, they do a financial background check on you. They do a criminal background check on you. Like, this isn't a pay per play thing. So basically the guidelines and the training that GAF requires us to do, we use that in our training for our salespeople, for coaching, for new hires. We just basically give them the field guide, which we call the Roofing Bible, that GAF created. And I feel like all other shingle manufacturers are trying to chase that, but all of the other ones that I believe are just pay per play. You pay $500 a month and you're XYZ contractor now.
So in your consultation, your demo, and your sales process, your sales pros are probably telling that story.
Mm-hmm.
On how you got that and how you live by it, which is immediately building credibility, trust, value. And then what it just probably comes down to is price.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
It does. But if you can prove why there's much more value to this and why this price tag might be a little more expensive, it's like, well, we've been in business for 16 years. These other guys haven't been, and we plan on staying relevant for at least another 16 years.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I love it. That's really cool. By the way, folks, we have nothing scripted here. We're just talking. So this is great.
That's been our niche. We talked about this a little bit before we started going live, and it's like, this has been our niche. It's not, if I fumble, I bumble, I drop the F-bomb, it is what it is. It's raw, it's live, and it's uncut.
So, let me tell you a story. So I do private trainings now. I fly out to go to my private clients to train their teams
mm-hmm.
on how to build successful financing programs in their business. And that includes like go-to-market strategy, sales 101, blah, blah. So I'm down at DT in Granbury with Randy Hurtado and his team last week. And, you know, we're all Christian brothers, and we were out to dinner, and, you know, we pray before we eat. And I went to bed early, and I woke up to a text message from Randy. And it said, "Hey, brother, man, I just want you to be sure that you use appropriate language." So I was like, oh, man, because I get excited. I get passionate. And, you know, even as a Christian, I'm a great sinner. Sometimes I swear. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I do. But he said, "I just ask one thing of you, man. Just please, no explicit. Is it explicitives?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Lord. I need you to help me choose the right words today with passion, but make sure that I stay protected to help. Like, it was crazy. So 3 hours of me up in front of the room in front of 30 people training, making sure that I chose the right words each and every single time.
It's tough. It is tough. And, you know, I've tried to clean my act up a little bit on here too, because there has been episodes we've gotten pretty raw, especially when it's a group of us on here that all know each other outside of, you know, this, and we've gotten pretty raw. But what I've noticed too is it's like there's especially now that we're doing it at lunchtime. We used to do it at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
People from like GAF are watching, you know, they support us. You know, we're big GAF fans. Certainty Siding, we've had them on the show. Certainty Siding's been on the show. Evolved Stone's been on the show. So there's these industry pillars and leaders that are watching, coming on the show. Even some of the home builders and homeowners are now following us. Like, I'd say 10 to 15, maybe even up into upwards of the 20% range of our phone calls that come in are because of this show.
Sure. Yeah.
Behind the ToolBelt. We have homeowners that follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Google, and Apple Play now. So it's like, I better watch, and it's tough, but I think that's why people love this so much, because we are real. What you see is what you get, unfortunately, guys. Yeah, I can't help but who I am. I am not, I do not have a general knowledge of, and I'm not world renowned, you know, and well-rounded. I have specific special knowledge and skills. I'm a roofer. I'm a business person. I study leadership. I study financials. I study real estate investment. And those are, and outside of that, I'm, you know, I've had my hair cut somewhat short for probably the past 30 years. I used to have a ponytail down the middle of my back. What you see, and I'm covered with tattoos from head to toe. So I can't, and I don't want to say, I didn't want to throw in there, and I'm a roofer, right? Because I think that's been the negative narrative that the roofing industry has had for so long. It's like, that's like, we're trying to make this place better than it was when we found it. So
I've seen this industry within the last 5 years do a complete just a complete reversal.
Absolutely.
The other day, I went online and I saw some beautiful things happening in contractors' lives. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's just because I've chosen the circle who I'm with now and who my people are. But I just kept seeing it, man, from Tommy Mello being baptized and finding the Lord to somebody else saying, hey, I'm having a rough day. And I met this girl, and like, I kept seeing smatterings of it. And I was like, this is beautiful. Whatever's happening in our industry, whether we're all starting to rub off on each other and saying, hey, it's okay to be really honest about things. Mm-hmm. And it's okay to hurt. And it's also okay to ask for help.
100%.
Like, dude, I was having a bad time a couple weeks ago. And I reached out to somebody, and I can't remember. And I just said, man, I'm like, maybe it was Michael. It was somebody, and it was at 5:30 in the morning. And I just woke up, and I felt stress, and I felt the entrepreneurial anxiety. And I just was like, what's going on? I was super emotional. I was probably crying. I just was trying to pray it away. And I was hurting, man. But here's the cool thing. I had people in my portfolio to pick up the phone and reach out to ask for help. And guess what? They answered. Mm-hmm. So like, and I know we just lost some guy that was a golfer. Like, he killed himself, you know, like, anybody listening to this, if you are suffering or hurting, you ain't alone. And know that there's people like Ty and myself, and my gosh, our network is massive. Reach out and ask for help. And it's okay to be hurting.
Yeah.
It is absolutely okay to be hurting. We're all broken. We're just broken on different levels, man. But some of us might be broken and feeling pretty good. Some of us might be broken and feeling pretty bad. We're all broken, but just make sure that, you know, anyway, I don't know what made me go down this road right now, but like, if there's anybody listening to this and you're having a bad day, it's okay. We're all going to have them, and know that you can reach out to groups of people like us and talk about your bad day. Trust me, we'll get you through it. So anyway,
right on. No, that's a great topic too. And you know, and just so everybody knows, and if somebody's out there that is having a bad day, reach out to us through Messenger. And if it's a conversation, trust us, it'll stay between us. But
100%.
Chris, I like what you said. We're all broken. Some of us broken worse than others, and some of us broken in certain areas of our lives and things like that. And some of us hide it better
Yeah.
than other people. But there's ebbs and flows. There's things that happen to us. And when you get stuck in that, that dark place where you feel like maybe you want to off yourself, it's tough. It's a tough rut to get out of. And a lot of that has to do with situational things that are going on in our lives and things that we just continue to keep stuff. And I'm a
Or,
stuff.
or chemically.
Yeah. Chemically. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
that
There's two
gloom,
separate types.
that gloom has grabbed you so hard inside.
Yeah.
Like and I'm not saying chemical like alcoholism and drug.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
talking about the chemicals of doom
In your
like,
brain.
in your brain that are controlling you. Like, y'all got to know that it ain't you, and it ain't anything you did, it ain't anything that you deserve. It's your chemicals controlling that doom and gloom, man. You have to reach out to somebody because that chemical inside of you, man, that's tough.
Yeah. And it's okay. Like you said, it's okay to reach out for help. And it's okay to reach out to outside help, whether that's a psychiatrist, whether it's your family doctor and letting them know how you feel and things like that, but one thing that I know for me is the more that I continue to stuff those feelings and act like everything's okay when it's not, that's when it gets worse.
Yeah.
Right. But when I open up and find that person that I can trust, that I can talk to and maybe help coach me or walk me through or encourage me to go see my family doctor, that's where things can get dicey when I continue to just keep stuffing, at least for me personally. And I've watched other people go through it too.
Yeah.
And it's our responsibility too. Let's take this one step further. It's our responsibility. If we know those that may suffer from depression, whether it's clinically, whether it's psychologically, situational, whatever, however they suffer from, it's also our responsibility to reach out to them to make sure and check on them to make sure that they're okay.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, because there's been one or two instances over the years where I felt like, man, if I would have just reached out to this person a little more, or if I would have been there, if I would have answered the phone or whatever, I can't take that blame. But could there have been more that I could have done? I've questioned myself that, because honestly, especially in this industry that we're in right now too, our first 4 hires are all gone right now.
Yeah.
Every single one of them since day one. It might even be 5 of them. The first 5 OGs here at TC Backer are gone. They're not with us anymore today, whether it be, suicide, whether it be drug addiction, overdose, car accident, alcohol related, whatever. And most of it came down to, like you said, the chemicals in our brain, self-medicating because they didn't feel right. They didn't feel good about themselves. Their skin was crawling, whatever the case might be, or the excuses at that time that they were using to self-medicate themselves. And I've used, and I call it an excuse because I've used the same excuses to do more harm than good. You wouldn't understand. You haven't walked my shoes. Your childhood wasn't as bad as mine. But the thing is, Chris, you nailed it. We've all been through it. We've all had rough childhoods. We've all done self-inflicting things. We've all done, harm to others that made us feel bad. But this is the thing. We're not sharing these things or experiences with other people. But the shining light to this is that there is help out there. Whether if you're suffering with drug addiction, there's a hotline out there. Honestly, and if you Google AA meeting near me, I don't care where you're at, shit's going to pop up. 800 number, the meeting list. There's psychiatrists out there. There's doctors out there. There's your family doctor. Hell, your significant other at times, or your best friend. And if you feel like you can't talk to those that are in your circle, and you touched on maybe it's the people I'm surrounding myself around today that's making my life feel so productive or good, or fulfilled. Maybe you should question those that you're surrounding yourself with if you feel like you can't open up to them. And maybe that's some of your issue too. I don't know.
Some of I talked about this at maybe it was a different podcast a few months ago. Some of my closest friends, and I'm not just talking acquaintances, are from social media.
No doubt. Me too.
I have a lot of acquaintances that I went to high school with that, you still maybe bounce into them here and there if I was ever to go back to Western New York, which I probably won't. But some of my I could reach out to you at 3 a.m, man, and you'd be there. Be like, yeah, man, I'll send a guy down with a truck to help you guys right now. Like, there's people that I've met in our world. Mm-hmm. I could pick up the phone and ask them for anything, and they would do it. And
Absolutely.
there's people that I went to high school with for, I don't even, 19 years, grew up with them, and they'd be like, yeah, man, I don't know, I'm a bit busy, Chris. Like,
Yeah.
dude, it's amazing the power of our circle and the power of the mindset and how we share, and we're empathetic and we're authentic and we're real and we really do care. It ain't an act. It isn't about being an influencer and acting like we actually really do care, folks.
Listen, Chris, I reached out to you several months ago to see if you would train our team in selling finance. One, we didn't, and we still don't even use your product. Okay. And I apologize for using you, but my point is that when I reached out to you to help our team learn how to sell financing to homeowners and to be able to add more value to our clients, dude, you were like, when? Here's my calendar. You know what I mean? And you didn't
it's a servant's heart.
Right. You know what I mean? And it's like, now that I'm thinking about this, like, okay, I owe Chris something in return. And so don't hesitate to reach out at any time. Yeah. But that you're right. It's not a fake. It's not an act. This is who you are. And it's because of our industry, right? We've met each other through our industry, whether at a roofing conference or social media. Has allowed us to meet other people outside of our states, outside of our cities, and things like that. And it's pretty cool because, like you said, I've met some awesome people, way more awesome than those that I went to high school with. You know, in this season of my life. I mean, Eric O is one of them. Mike Goldenstein, Travis Hervega. I mean, Joe Huffman. That whole Roofle crew. Those guys, dude. I could chill with those guys every single day. I miss those guys because we traveled 2 years ago. We were at every single home show together. Hell, I think at one point in time we even were hauling their shit around because we'll see you at the next stop, kids.
I know, it was great. The circuit gets crazy sometimes.
Yeah,
but it's like there's a misconception. Oh, you're going to another party. It ain't a party. We're going there to see our friends and our family, and it's almost like we walk into the trade shows and when we're setting up our booths, and it's like a reunion. Like it's like we're all rock stars traveling on our road show, playing music all over the United States, and we get to share what happened between the last show and this show. It's just
absolutely. We work all day.
Cult.
We network with each other, and because of your network, you know, our network is our net worth, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Even our sponsors like Lead Scout, Hook Agency, Roofle. I mean, because of them, we are where we're at today. And it's because of the partnerships, the relationships. And you said it earlier, they trust me. I trust them. They trust me. And I know I could call Erico or Mike Goldenstein up and say, hey man, I need some help. I'm struggling mentally, physically, spiritually, in all those levels, because Mike's a pretty spiritual dude. Had very, very well rounded. If I was suffering from something, you know, psychologically or shit, I'm not that I would ever have to ask him for financial help, but I'm sure if I was like, hey man, I need a bus ticket home because Vic left me in Orlando or whatever, I'm sure he'd probably drive me home. You know what I mean? That's the type of people that, you know, and I think good people attract good people.
That remind me when Eric did the thing down at the Cayman Islands, the diving thing. I was counting the guys and look at the guys on the boat. First of all, I was seriously jealous, and I had the fear of FOMO, like big time. But then I also was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 multiplied by 25,000. I should have gone on that thing, and I could have done a raise. Like I could have done a seed round on the boat and had everybody pitch in 25 grand. And then Approve-ify would have its investment round.
There you go.
I literally was so funny. I was sitting here counting and looking at the guys on the boat going, that's 7 times 25. That would have been enough.
Yeah. No doubt. But
I love it, man. That's funny.
That's a good point, but you should have been there. But that's our point that we're trying to make. That group of men that we were on that trip with, man, like the stuff, just the success by proximity. Like there was no agenda really other than, excuse me, you know, we didn't do any lectures or whiteboarding or anything like that. It was kind of like, okay, we're going to go diving from this time to this time, but the time before and then the time after we broke bread, we you know, joked around, we carried on, but the conversations that we had, Tim Brown and I, dude, I love that
Another
dude.
level.
I loved him. Yeah, I loved him, but like the conversation is just, our relationship's totally different today. It's giving me
Now,
goosebumps.
I know a lot of us are in recovery, and I know that the Cayman Islands is kind of a party. Was there any type of an issue between the folks that are in recovery and then the folks that were not? Still, the guys that were not in recovery having a little bit of fun, and the guys that are in recovery, everyone was good, right?
Yeah, no, there was no, and I don't know if it was out of respect for us, because there was a handful of us there, about at least half of us, enough to have a meeting. But no, there wasn't. I don't know if it was out of respect or just normal people don't party like we would think they should be partying. They can handle it. I don't know. Maybe it was just one of those situations where it was like they didn't find the need to party because they found their fulfillment by just hanging out.
Yeah, it was. I kind of was thinking about that, like, you know, when you're in a situation where, you know, you're in recovery and you're not participating in alcohol or whatever's around you. And then there's some folks that are not in that with non-issues that might just be a social drink, what the net effect is on that. So
yeah, somebody may have been, I think I did see like a 6-pack of beer in the fridge, but there was like,
but it wasn't a party anyway, man. You guys were like, diving is exhausting. People think that it's like, oh man, you're done. No, dude, that takes a lot of energy out of you.
Listen, my metabolism kicked up when I came home, man. I was burning through calories. I was burning through. I could have ate anything I wanted for a week after I came back. It really is. But it was more so, and I don't want to call it chill. And it wasn't necessarily a vacation, because it wasn't like we got to sleep in and stay up super late. And then it wasn't like that. It was more so the fellowship and the camaraderie for those of us that are in the roofing industry, suffer from the same woes that you know, we talked a little bit about that before we went live, was, you know, being an entrepreneur or solopreneur or entrepreneur or whatever the case might be, wherever you're at in your journey. It was just really nice to break bread and hang out around the pool and have professional and personal conversations with those that can fully relate, and where I didn't feel like I needed to hold back because my toys were bigger than your toys, or my toy box was big. It was nothing. It wasn't a jock measuring contest. It was full vulnerability, transparency, and it just felt really good to kind of like, you know, share my experience, strength, and hope. It wasn't necessarily what am I going to get from this. Like it was both reciprocated and you know, both back and forth, because Tim was giving me some great ideas on marketing and stuff like that, and to be able to hang out with him for 2-3 days, right? Joe Huffman, that dude is a freaking genius. He is one of the most humblest people I know, and had no idea what involvement, like how much he's involved on many different facets.
SMB, he's a smart dude.
Hey,
and you know what? He also looks a little bit like me, so I don't know what's going on, Joe. But you know, hey,
you both are definitely studs. But no, it was very cool. I almost didn't go. I backed out probably twice. And then about 5 minutes before I was supposed to go, I was like, okay, I'm going.
Good. I'm glad you went, because you know, I sat here and watched it from 3,782 miles away, jealous. So
I'm sure you were invited.
I'm sure I was, but you know, I'm launched this business in January, and I'm just tied to the desk, man, trying to make a living, brother.
I get it. Well, what is the business that you've been so equally and hard working on? It Improvify. Okay.
So I've always it's real clear. I've been in the financing game for a long time. It's what I do. I know when I had launched Blue Pages, we had shut that software company down, by the way. Blue Pages is now gone. Some stuff had happened with the developers over in the Philippines. We shut the business down. We burned it. We put it in a hole out back. I lost about $250,000 on that. And that was my money, by the way. I've never had investment money. So I learned from that really quickly that, you know, whatever I do, it's going to be hyper focused on what I do, which is financing. And I'm going to really, in my next project, stay in my lane and just do the one thing. Right. So I know Blue Pages did a lot. It was a great learning ground. And there's actually an opportunity that's presented itself to me where I could take all the stuff that I did for 4 years building that software company and maybe take it somewhere else. So I think that it all wasn't a loss. That was put into my life for a learning reason, but I just don't know for what yet. Okay. So it wasn't a total loss. I think that everything that I did with that is going to really propel something else down the road. We'll talk about that when that comes to fruition. So what is Improvify? Well, in January, I got back from, we go to Utah, we go snowboarding for a week. That's our big annual trip. And an opportunity came for me to take his national strategic director position with a very large lender. And I was going to do what I do best, which is, integrations and relationship stuff for this company. So I had put my notice in when I returned to the particular lender that I was working with at the time, that I was going to be leaving the position. And they said, okay, we're shocked, but all right, good luck, God bless. And in 10 minutes, somebody from the company that I resigned from called the hiring company and said, if you hire him, we're going to sue you. And it was like a 2-year non-compete thing. So they had called the hiring people. The head counsel from this lender said, hey, we can't hire this guy. We're rescinding the offer. So within a matter of 2 hours, I went from being fully employed, making a great living, doing what I do, which is financing, to making nothing, unemployed, fired, and an offer was like not fired, but the offer was rescinded. I was unemployed. So I came into my office and my wife opened up the company Improvify with the LLC in the state of Florida. And I just work for her. She owns the company 100%. So I'm a 1099 employee, so it isn't mine. Anyway, we launched, and I picked up my phone and I started calling lenders, and she got the lender agreements in place. And we started calling contractors saying, hey, we're here to help you get enrolled with these lenders. And then we're going to build you a go-to-market strategy to help you build a successful finance platform in your business. And that was it. And we enrolled 500 contractors in 90 days. Organically with no ads. We enrolled 500 contractors in 90 days by myself.
Wow.
So I was just in here grinding, man, for 3 months, getting contractors enrolled, training, getting them enrolled, getting them trained. So that's what Improvify is. I would say we're kind of a marketplace. We're a lender marketplace. I've got 5 or 6 different proprietary portfolio lenders that work with us because we have a database of 36,000 contractors that we serve nationally. But more importantly, the biggest part of my business is the go-to-market strategies that take place after we help a contractor get enrolled with our finance lending partners is what do we do next? And I wrote this down before we started chatting. I wrote down commitment. I wrote down take action, right? So what we do differently is, look, anybody can go and enroll with a lender. You can just Google it and you can go, and I'm sure there's a little button you can click on someone's website. And if you're a contractor and you've been in business over a year, you can get enrolled with a lender and offer financing. But what we've seen is this. In the 500 that we enrolled, they're only concerned with the one customer that asked them or needed financing. They weren't thinking about financing being tools in the tool belt that they could use at every single sit, every demo, every consultation. So what we do now is this. I ain't going to work with you if you're not committed to actually getting enrolled and taking action. I won't even bring you on as a client. I won't even send you the enrollment link. I won't do it because you're wasting your time. You're wasting my time. You're wasting the lender's time. So if I get on a call with a contractor now, and believe me, I'm on all, it's nonstop. And there's like, hey man, I heard that you're the guy that offers financing help. I'll literally ask them, are you committed to this? What do you mean? Are you just going to get enrolled to help the one customer? Are you going to get enrolled and take action and help all of your customers all the time and follow what I teach you so I can make you successful? And if they're like, him and Han, I ain't your guy. I'll tell you where to go. Go to my competitors, go to Google, go here, go there. I just don't want to do it anymore, man. I don't want to just enroll contractors with lenders and watch them fail. I want them to get enrolled, get their portal set up, reach back out to me once they're enrolled, have a successful training, go-to-market strategies put into place, build this thing in your business so you can help all these people out there that need your help, and they all need your help. Everybody needs an affordable payment solution at the point of sale right now with what's happening in our economy, whether it's insurance, restoration, storm, windows, doors. It doesn't matter what the asset class is. Folks need a way to buy the things that you sell, and they need it to be affordable, because everything really still just comes down to price. If you can make it fit their budget, they will buy. So that's what we're doing differently, brother man, is our approach to the marketplace isn't just enrolling anymore. It's hyper focused on, don't do business with me unless you're seriously committed to taking action. And then if you are, then let's work together. If you're not, there's like 32 lenders out there you can go get a roll with and just have an account rep, and hopefully it'll work out for you and your one customer. I'm now learning how to say no.
Yeah. No, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. So you're vetting and you're making sure people are fully committed. You said a lot of good stuff there. So you're developing partnerships. First and foremost, you're providing capital for home improvement contractors. Okay. And it's your wife's business. So why don't you tell us about these partnerships, right? The partnerships that you're creating, the work and the benefits for both parties, the contractor and the homeowner.
Yeah. So lenders, we've got these lender partnerships that we put together with proprietary pricing, which simply means this for a contractor. When you come to us, you're going to get great programs, products, and features to offer to your customers at the point of sale. You're going to get the great tools, you're going to get the technology, and you're going to get the proper training for your team to be able to offer financing at the point of sale. So much so, and I think another big differentiator in the marketplace is this: being that I'm not the lender, I don't just offer one host of products and solutions, which means this: if you go to lender A and you only sell you're only enrolled with lender A, you're only going to offer what they offer. That's called adverse selection, right? You're going to have one rep and they're just going to be forcing down the throat of what they say. When you come to me, I'm going to do a better intake to understand your business, to make sure maybe you need two lenders and our new secured solution that we offer. What do you mean? Well, not everybody's the same, right? Like I got off the phone with a guy from Oklahoma that's got 2 sales reps, and he's only going to use financing for deductibles and depreciation. Do you really think that he needs to be retail focused? No, he's going to use financing for deductibles and depreciation and then a repair once in a while. I'm not going to enroll him with a lender that's really good with retail. I'm going to enroll him with a lender that's got a 2% dealer fee, risk-based pricing down to $600. And I'm also going to give him secured lending because there's no dealer fees with that. Like, you're not going to get that from going to the bank. The bank's going to push the bank's programs on you. When you come to me, I'm going to analyze your business to know what lender and programs will be fitting for you, your sales reps, and your customers. So that's another big differentiating factor of coming to someone like me is I've been doing this 26 years.
That's what I was just thinking.
I'm just going to have a great conversation with you to understand your business, your market, your competitors, your marketplace, your margins, your integrity, your P&L, how you're advertising and marketing it now. Let me look at your finance page. Oh, geez, that's a compliance issue. Like, I'm going to tear it apart, and I ain't going to do anything else but talk about financing with you. If you came here for leads, you ain't going to get them from me.
Right. Yeah. You're not the lead man.
Yeah. It's just being really hyper-focused, and, it's just different when you come to someone like me than you go directly to a bank.
Right.
I can tell all the ugly truths now about the banks because I don't work for them. And the only HR department we got here is my wife.
Yeah. And you may not want to mess with her.
You may want to mess with Tiffany, man. I met her in a boxing gym. She got a heck of a hook.
Well, hey, that's better than a bar room, I guess.
Absolutely, brother. So anyway, we're different, man. We're different. We're focused. It feels interesting. And it was really hard to get to the no, to say, hey, we're probably not right for you. I told that to a gentleman today. He goes, hey, Chris, we're looking at your program. It seems really interesting. I said, well, wait a minute. How many sales reps do you have? He goes, it's just me and the owner. I go, it ain't for you, man. The program is not for you. That's for folks it's for like you. It's for folks like DT. It's guys that have real sales organization. And it's like having Scoville in the back pocket for 12 months. Like, It ain't built. I'm not going to take your money because that program ain't for you. A lot of guys out there would take the money. I ain't going to take the money. If it's not a good program, I'm not taking the money.
Right. Why don't you give us some tips for home improvement companies to increase their sales by offering financing?
Sure. Offer it.
Just offer it.
That's it. Just tell
Like-
people always, early and often, that you have a finance solution. It's a soft credit pull, and I can find out right now what your low monthly payment will be.
Yeah, soft credit pull. That I think that's huge.
Yeah.
The soft credit pull. So do you feel like, I always use the analogy of a car dealership. Whenever I went to go purchase a car, they never, focus necessarily like on the cost of the car. They always focus on the monthly payment and work with you to try to get you into a comfortable monthly payment.
Yep.
Do you feel like that's the approach that any home improvement company should take? They should go in and say, okay, for $159 a month, we can put a roof on your home.
Well, I call it reducing. This is actually part of my training. Reducing the price to a payment. When you do this to somebody, you'll get pregnant pause. When you do this to somebody, they'll justify. And what does that mean? That means that $25,000 is a big number and $159 a month is a small number. In the $159 a month, you might be able to sell them at $189 a month on a good, better, and best system. Whereas if you do this and you do 30 and 35,000, those are big numbers and you're going to get pregnant pause. So the goal of financing is to reduce this to this so they say yes. And because we're always trying to help our customers get to a yes. They know that they need it and they want it, they have to have it. However, how do we get it to them and make it affordable? Well, you do it through a payment option or a 12-month same as cash or an 18-month same as cash. And you make it easy for them. It's painless. It's 30 seconds. It's a soft credit pull. We're approving people to $150,000. You can have a term from 2 years to 20 years with no prepayment penalty. And Mr. and Mr. Smith, you're going to hire us here at TC Backer. Look, how are y'all looking to pay? Did you want to use our money or were you looking to use yours today? What do you mean? Well, we've got a soft credit pull system right here where this little doohickey, I can find out what you're approved to right now in 30 seconds with no impact on your credit score. And then you're nodding your head and they're going, wow, that's really cool. We didn't know that we could finance this home improvement. That's pretty cool. Absolutely. How'd you buy this house? Well, we got a mortgage. You got some nice cars out there. Yeah, we got auto loan. Well, this furniture's from Ashley Furniture. Did you take advantage of their 5 to 6 years of no interest? Absolutely did. Like, oh, you've got a toothbrush from Amazon. Did you do the 4 equal payments at the checkout? Everybody's used to financing. So you as a contractor, just introducing it to them, you're not going to hurt their feelings. You're probably going to help them. It. And it doesn't matter if it's insurance, restoration, repair, ACV, RCV, XYZ, depreciation, deductible, retail. It doesn't matter. People make such a big deal out of, well, geez, I'm in the restoration business and I've got to offer financing now, so I want to turn more retail. Don't overthink it. There's no Eric Oberman. I did a video on this, an hour training on this a couple weeks ago. If you haven't seen it, go to my YouTube channel. Stop making a big deal out of this. You can offer financing on everything. What they do with their insurance check is their prerogative. If they want to send it to the lender and pay the loan off because there's no prepayment penalty, well, they can send it. If they want to keep their insurance check, well, they can keep it. If they want to do, it doesn't matter. I think we overthink the deliverability of financing to our clients. All we have to do is offer it and then let them decide, right? So
yeah. No, I love that. I was actually thinking that. I was like, dude, we make this so complicated and we overthink it. So you were talking about training. I know you trained our team several months ago and you trained Eric O's team last week, which I definitely want to check that out on YouTube. So do you provide training?
I do. Hold on 1 second here.
Okay.
Running late. Give me 10 minutes, please. Okay, cool. I got a 1 o'clock. I'm just going to send him a quick note. He's cool.
Okay.
All right. I do. That's actually a big part of it now.
Okay.
I offer when somebody comes to us and said, hey, Chris, I need financing. There's 2 options. Number one is we get you enrolled with our proprietary lendings. We've got 4 of them in there. Plus we've got the secured lending now. You get that. And then at the bottom of that, you get a go-to-market strategy training session with Scoville. And that's one of our packages that we have. The other package we have is called the program, where a company like you could hire Scoville and I'm yours for an entire year. We do bi-monthly meetings. You get invited into our private Facebook community. I've got margin integrity, sales 101, sales 102, sales 205, objection handling, a private Facebook community. We're building out training decks and all this stuff. We got a bunch of deliverables. We'll do a complete audit on your website to make sure that your findings page is legal and corporate and compliant, and you're advertising the right thing and not the wrong thing. We've got direct advisors for you to talk to for SBA loans, lines of credit, capital, raising capital for your company. So we've got a set of advisors for you to talk to. We've got a marketing guy that'll do a complete audit. So it's an entire year of Scoville in the back pocket to make sure that your team is successful. Now,
Wow.
I normally don't fly out, but two of my clients flew me to Texas last week to do face-to-face because they wanted their kickoff. They wanted their guys to know Scoville. And I wanted the guys to go, I can reach out to Scoville for help because I now know him. So that's why I went out to DT and Texas Select last week, is because they really wanted their guys to go, hey, we've hired Scoville to be your consultant. You want to know him. More importantly, you want to know that it's comfortable that you can reach out to him for help. So that's why I added the consulting training package to this whole deal, because let's face it, when you go to a lender, and I've got nothing against any of the lenders out there that I don't work with that I might compete against, you're going to get cookie cutter. You're going to get an account rep. But more importantly, if you ain't a top 10% contractor, you probably ain't going to get much attention. My focus is working with contractors that want to take action and are committed. And I don't mind the guy that's doing 1 million a year that wants to get to 3.5, you know, whereas I think a lot of these big lenders, they're chasing the top 10% because that's where they make all their money. And I just, that isn't for me. That's not my people. It ain't my avatar. They probably don't need me. They really don't. I know who my people are. My people are the ones that are committed to taking action, that see the value in this and want to win. So, yeah.
No, like you were saying, I think this is one good way that someone could go from 1 million to 3 million, and then 3 million to 5 million by
like that,
using your services, not just the financial tools, but the other tools, the training that you also provide. And you touched on earlier, like this whole time that you're speaking, obviously this isn't your first time around the block. Like you've been doing this a very long time, and it's not very cookie cutter, like you had mentioned. And it sounds like when somebody calls you, you ask them the right questions, you get rid of the tire kickers. Are you fully committed to this? And if you are, okay, where are you at in your business? Are you a $5 million company? Are you a 10 million company? How many sales reps do you have? And you find which shoe fits for their company, which is what I really like about this. And before I forget, how would someone get a hold of you so Vic can put it in the comments here?
I think just the standard, reach out to me on Facebook or ChristopherScoville.com. I think that probably, it's my name, right? Christopher, or Improvify.
Yeah.
You know what? I got a better idea. We'll do it the proper way. Improvify, IMPROVIFI.com. There's a form on there. The form comes to me. My wife, Tiffany, the owner of Improvify and the COO in charge, will send out an invite to come to an 11 o'clock meeting. And then we take it from there. So yeah, go to Improvify.com, fill out the form. It'll go to Tiffany. We'll set up a meeting to see how we can help you. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. I just didn't want to forget that before we got. I know you're kind of crunched for time here.
Yeah, I got a 1 o'clock that I'm running late for, and out of respect for him, I'll probably bounce off now. So
no doubt. No, I appreciate this. Is I didn't even realize it till today. This is your third time on the show.
Yeah.
I always appreciate our conversations, whether it's in person or through Zoom like this.
Me too, brother. Me too.
You're a good dude. Keep killing it. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out, man.
I do. I actually do. I need investors. Just kidding.
Okay. Well, let's talk. Right? I'm always open.
All right, brother. You have a blessed day, man. Thanks for having me on here. I really appreciate I appreciate you guys a lot.
You too, man. Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody for tuning in. Until then, I'll see you guys next week for episode 233. Have a good day.
See y'all.